Hello, coolers, and welcome to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on some interesting developing stories. We start with Lionel Messi, as it has been reported that PSG are yet to reach a verbal agreement with Messi, as Barcelona returns still on the table. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then, secondly, talking about this wonderful development as Xavi's Barcelona could break 12-year-old Pep Guardiola record against Sevilla. That is, if we win Sevilla or we don't concede against Sevilla at the Camp Nou in the upcoming clash, we are going to break a 12-year record held by Pep Guardiola, during his time at Barca. So guys, before we get right into the full story, please do ensure to subscribe, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch right up to the very end. Ever since Lionel Messi's legendary triumph at the 2022 FIFA World Cup with Argentina, there has been conflicting reports over his future, with some hinting at his potential return to Barcelona, while others have assured he is going to renew his contract with Paris Saint-Germain. The renewal with PSG narrative has been particularly strong throughout the course of the year so far, but once again, a fresh report from Ben Jacobs suggests a return to Barcelona could still be on the table for Messi, as PSG have failed to reach a verbal agreement with the Argentine over a contract renewal. This report just comes a day after Xavi's press conference when the Barcelona manager was asked about Messi's potential return. During the presser, Xavi floated the idea of Messi's return, suggesting that the door will always be open for the Argentine if he even wants to return to the Camp Nou. Earlier in the month, it was Gerard Romero who made a bombshell claim suggesting that Lionel Messi's contract negotiations with PSG are not as advanced. The Barcelona-based journalist stirred the pot once again, claiming that Barca are open to all scenarios when it comes to the return of the Argentine. Shortly after Romero's claims, Messi's representatives were quick to respond, with journalist Danny Gil quoting the attacker's entourage who deemed the exit rumors a diversion tactic by Barcelona. In the midst of all this, Messi was reportedly approached by Saudi Arabian giants Al Hilal or Al Hilal as well, the traditional rivals of Al Nassr, who made headlines by signing Cristiano Ronaldo earlier in the year, were willing to fork out a bumper contract for the 35-year-old. But Messi, having recently led Argentina to World Cup glory, appears to be keen on continuing at the highest level of football for now. And despite continued links over a return to Barcelona, a renewal with PSG still appears to be the most likely scenario. Even Spanish journalists such as Alfredo Martinez has claimed that a return to Catalonia is impossible for Messi due to the club's current economic situation, coupled with the forward's desire to continue at PSG. This came even at a time when Barcelona, shortly after Messi's triumph at the World Cup, were reportedly considering activating another lever in 2023 in an attempt to sign the 35-year-old. But given the stricter laws put in place by La Liga, coupled with the club's inflated salary budget, that appears to be an unlikely proposition. At the end of the day, it is PSG who still have the upper hand in their bid to extend the contract of Messi. Although they have yet to reach verbal agreement with the veteran striker over a new deal, they have the cash to burn and the sporting perspective to keep the player stated. At the same time, though, Le Parisien must perform well in all competitions if they are to match Messi's ambition. Their performance in the Champions League in particular could play a vital role in deciding the fate of the Argentine international this coming summer. So from the look of things, at this point in time, nobody knows what is the definitive, decision Messi will make when it comes to his future. Paris Saint-Germain still remains the upper hand, to be honest, because I'm always trying to think about the possibility of him returning to the Camp Nou. It's even hard to figure out when we consider the situation that we are currently in, still fighting with the financial fair play in La Liga, and still to strengthen some positions in our squad, which is not easy. So it's going to be very tricky, to be honest, guys. Very tricky. Messi, even though many people thought like, why have Messi not even still agreed already? It could have been far easier for him to say, look, okay, PSG, I want to stay for another season. But up to now, since after the World Cup, nothing has been said from Messi's end. So it's still something that the media still keep contemplating, still anticipating, and nobody knows what happens. But Messi, according to reports, still have other options. He's still considering other options, right? So PSG, there's no verbal agreement, and to be honest, I'm quite surprised about that. I don't know if actually there's still something that Messi is thinking if he wants to come back to his beloved Barcelona. Might be, but even if that's the case, how possible it would be for Barca to, to free up the space to bring the Argentina legend. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, after securing a narrow victory against Real Betis, FC Barcelona will shift their attention to the weekend encounter against Sevilla as they look to maintain their solid 5 points lead at the top of the league table. There are many incentives attached to this game, as coach Xavi Hernandez has reportedly promised the players 2 days of holiday next week if they can secure all 3 points. But apart from that, Barcelona are also poised to break a record that has been intact since the Pep Guardiola era. Indeed, the club are heading into the Sevilla game with a record of just 1 goal conceded in the last 10 home games. In La Liga, the only goal they conceded was against local rivals Espanyol in the highly anticipated or highly controversial derby at the weekend of last year. Nevertheless, if Barcelona managed to keep another clean sheet against Sevilla, they will beat the record of the 2011-2012 Barca team that had conceded only 2 goals in a stretch of 10 home matches in the league. During the 2011-2012 edition, Barcelona has started the season with 0 goals conceded in the first 9 matches, but their perfect defensive record was tarnished when the Catalans, under the leadership of Pep, conceded twice in a 4-2 victory over Real Betis. Why Pep's Barca back then was chock full of star defenders such as Gerard Piqué, Puyol, Javier Mascherano, Dani Alves, and Victor Valdes. Xavi's 2022-23 edition of Barcelona are close to achieving that feat with a relatively modest and inexperienced setup. This speaks volumes about how Xavi has managed to instill a sense of organization and discipline into the Barcelona squad. It has been visible in the team's performances in the domestic competitions this season, and should the team continue their good run against Sevilla, Barca will become the undisputed favorites to lift the league title this season. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye for now.